USA Pro Challenge finishing in downtown Denver, where the overall race leader, TJ Van Garderen, hopes to hold on to be crowned champion for the second year in a row. That's next, right after this sports update. 44 miles to go to Denver finish of the USA Pro Challenge, and these are the 5 leaders dropping away from Lookout Mountain and heading to Golden. They have a lead of 1:30 over the field, which contains the race leader in yellow there, TJ Van Garderen. The riders are chasing down towards the big finish in Denver, all up next. A week of racing around the stunning state of Colorado, home to the world's highest cycling peaks. One man has dominated the USA Pro Challenge. Colorado resident TJ Van Garderen began the defense of his title he won last year by first conquering Monarch Mountain, and there he claimed the leader's yellow jersey. 2 days later, Van Garderen was storming Vale Pass in the time trial, winning again and increasing his lead. Today, the survivors race into the state capital and in downtown Denver. The stage is set to welcome an American winner from Aspen, where this race all began a week ago. Welcome along, everybody. This is where they're headed to right now. The last day of the USA Pro Challenge, Stage 7, presented by Smashburger. 78 miles the total distance from Boulder. I'm Phil Liggett, and alongside me is Paul Sherwin, as we now take this race to its grand finale. Let me remind you first of all how it all began today after what has been 6 days of exciting racing. TJ Van Garderen, after 17 hours in the saddle, leads Tom Danielson by 1:31. Sergei Zvetkov by 1:45. Rafał Majka of Poland is 4th. Matthew Boucher of the American on Trek Factory Racing is 5th. As we now look out of our helicopter, live pictures of those 5 riders still out in front. And there they are, the 5 riders, Paul, who have led the way. They're hanging on. The lead has come down a little bit. Ruben Zeppunt, Jens Voigt, who's riding his last race as a pro. He retires today in Denver. But these 5 riders, 1:20 clear now. We've just gone through Golden.
Well, Jens Voigt, the man you were talking about there, Phil, is the guy who's actually on the front here. He's going to turn 43 years of age next month on the 17th of September. He turned professional back in 1997. It's quite amazing, really. And he's ridden the Tour de France on 17 occasions. Now, you could have thought that this last year of racing, he would have ridden around the world from Australia to Europe, from the Tour de France to Colorado, and had an easy ride round. But here, he's aggressive. He's on his final day of his final race, and he's in the breakaway group. That's phenomenal.
And he's there and driving this breakaway. He's having a drink at the back there. Let's go down to the main field. We go back, in fact, only 1:15 now. Carmen Sharp, these boys are dodging the central reservations here, but they are absolutely flying away from Golden.
Well, just to remind the television viewers back at home, these roads are closed. They've been closed down by the Colorado Highway Patrol. They've done a great job to keep this race as safe as possible, to allow the riders to use all of the roads and the highways of Colorado for the bike race here this afternoon. But I think what's more exciting about this final stage is, yes, we've got this 5-man breakaway group here. 1:15 seconds back to the yellow jersey group containing TJ Van Garderen, but 2 minutes further back is a group containing the whole of Team Cannondale and the sprinter Elia Viviani from Italy.
Well, let's show you the Lexus profile so you'll know exactly where we are. We've climbed over the top of Lookout Mountain. We've left Boulder behind. We're now heading into Golden itself and then continuing to Denver. Once we get to Denver, we do 4 circuits of the city for a total of 25 miles. So this is the breakaway. Michael Rogers, the Australian, is on the left as driving the breakaway through at the moment. It's Ruben Zeppunt, the German rider up here. Now we've got Portugal's Machado in the blue, and then Jens Voigt of Germany in the black. These boys are hanging on to a lead which is now only 75 seconds. There were 12 of them. There's now just 5. We're back into Golden. The USA Pro Challenge on NBC is brought to you by United Healthcare. United Healthcare is stepping up for better healthcare by Sierra Nevada Brewing, a craft beer pioneer and cycling supporter. your journey at Colorado.com. And by Smash Burger. Smash fresh, served delicious. These are live pictures coming to you now as we're getting through the town of Golden very shortly. 5 riders in the lead. This is stage 7 of the USA Pro Challenge presented by Smashburger. It is the last stage of this week-long race going home to Denver now. That's the list of the 5 riders up front, but the one we're all looking at and admiring is at the back at the moment in black. It's Jens Voigt. 17 years a top professional, 17 times a record rider in the Tour de France, and today he's chosen the United States. He's a German cyclist, but he's chosen the United States to retire from the sport. He has a huge fan base here in America, and boy, he's got into the breakaway. He's 43 years of age next month, and he's still giving them more pain than anybody else in the race. There's the peloton. It's getting bigger as they're flying down off Lookout Mountain and rejoining, but we're still looking to see if any of the sprinters have got back. It is not by any means all of the 117 riders who are still in this race.
Well, the gap now between the 5 leaders and what we'll call the yellow jersey group, the jersey of the big favourites in this race here this afternoon, is down to a single minute. That's only 60 seconds. And in these big, long, straight roads as we head back down and start to pick up an easterly direction towards Denver, they'll be able to see them because they're separated by around about a kilometre, which is about 3/4 of a mile.
Well, Plan A has worked for Garmin Sharp. They're in the main chase group, but their intention today was to go so fast up Lookout Mountain to get rid of Cannondale, the team that carries the fastest finisher in this race, Elia Viviani, and it has succeeded. They've got rid of the whole team, have gone back to try and drag Viviani back into this race, and it's going to be a while. I think he's going to bridge something like 2 minutes to the main chase in the race. The 5 leaders now, as Paul Sherwin has just told us, are holding 1 minute left of their advantage. They've been out in front since the 3rd mile of this 78-mile race today.
Talk about a pursuit in action here this afternoon. The race is pretty much just split into 3 specific groups. The leading group of 5 that we're looking at here, Michael Rogers, the Poulter of Germany, there on the back, Mejias of Spain, Machado of Portugal, and Jens Voigt of Germany are being chased by the yellow jersey group, and a group that contains all of the pre-race favourites and all of the riders who are high up in the overall standings. But 2 minutes further back is the fastest sprinter in the race, and he's trying to grapple himself and get himself and claw his way back into the competition this afternoon. It's going to be a long, hard chase for Elia Viviani.
Well, we're just about 14 miles from the finish line. First time through in downtown Denver. Denver in the shadow of the state capitol. This rider on the right here wants a drink. He hasn't got any bottles there, so he's asked them to go and get them. But look, this is the main chase group here, and largely it is the blue jerseys of Garmin Sharp, but the lighter blue jerseys of White, they're trying to bring their team leader, Keel Reiner, into this race as well. Keel is the rider wearing that lime green leaders jersey in the points competition. If you're watching cycling for the first time, the points competition is the second most important competition in a stage race, and also it is for the most consistent daily finisher. Sprint 1 results, by the way, when we came through Golden, Jens Voigt, who's won everything on the road today in his final race. He was first up Lookout Mountain, he was first through Golden, but Keel Reiner keeps his lead in that competition going down towards the finish.
Well, there are 2 teams in this next group of riders who've got a real reason to make sure that the sprinter Elia Viviani in a group further back doesn't come back together. That's United Healthcare Squad, that's the team of Keel Reiner, the man who leads the Lexus sprint competition, and Garmin Sharp, because they've got the team of Alex House, who was second on the first 2 stages of the USA Pro Challenge this year.
Well, I'm hearing from the race, it is now 1 minute the gap, it's confirmed. Let's have a look at the people for bikes. The weather and through Golden, it was 75 degrees Fahrenheit, very light winds, partly cloudy, and I think and hope it's going to stay that way all the way to the finish. These riders over the week have been beaten by high winds and heavy rain, slippery roads. It has been a difficult course for them this year, and of the 128 who started, 117 are heading down home. So this is the leading group. 2 teams working now. United Healthcare, the blue and white, Garmin Sharp on the blue, and also a little bit of white on there as well. green jersey peeping into our picture occasionally, about 7 men back. That is the winner of the first day into Aspen. Up at the front group here, Michael Rogers. Sorry about that little picture break-up there. We'll give you the leaders though. This is Michael Rogers on the front, Javier Mejias, also willing to drive. Very, very difficult to bring you live action from out in the Rockies. We're flying an aeroplane at 10,000 feet. We're flying a helicopter below it. And that feeds the signals down to the motorbikes that you're seeing. But those signals first of all go back to us in Denver. So it's all working out at the moment. Let's stay with it. Let's hope so anyway. So Gorbachev still driving hard. United Healthcare driving hard. These boys are actually losing ground, even though they look as though they're flying, and they're on speeds here at the moment, approaching 45 to 50 miles an hour, which means that the breakaway of 5 is going that little bit quicker, because we're looking at 1 minute 5 seconds now. And so the leaders still moving clear as best they can of this breakaway group. Now all of the overall favourites are still in this pack. Now in international cycling, if they cross the line altogether, they're given the same time. Nobody gains, nobody loses, which would mean that TJ Van Gogh would retain all of his 1 minute 32 second overnight advantage over second place rider Tommy Danielson. Now both Colorado residents, by the way. Back up to the leaders. This is Svetkov driving at the front. Now, Sunday night, of course, is football night, and tonight we'll be in Arizona as Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals host AJ Green and the Bengals, the site of Super Bowl 49. It's Sunday night football, 8 Eastern, only on NBC. It all leads up to the NFL kickoff on Thursday, September 4th. These are the riders. Their work is coming to an end after 7 days in the saddle and now 20 hours of cycling. They're heading towards the finish.